We have red lights across the board.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm still
We are
trying
live.
to. Okay, hold on.
We are on the air.
We are live from New York. It's Wednesday night.
No, it's not. It's Tuesday
It's
night.
Tuesday night.
Today's Tuesday. Thought it was Wednesday.
But you're going to see it on a Wednesday.
That's true.
I thought today was Wednesday.
No,
That
that would mean that we
sucks.
missed it. And then why are we here?
Because tomorrow we have
I know.
practice. Tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, we have practice.
Yeah, we do.
I'm at a point where I don't feel like I need to be at practices. I got it. I'm in the songs. Shalisha needs to practice. She hasn't practiced once.
That's true.
What's she been doing?
Doing everything else.
That's the point.
Directing it.
As you can tell, we're in full VBS mode at our church. Just trying to get things all settled out. But we're going to focus on our podcast now. Welcome back to Redeemed.
I don't think I've ever once focused on anything.
We know.
That's true. That's true.
So don't say that I'm focused. You guys might be focused.
Well, somebody's got to be focused around here. So we're in chapter 8 of 1 Samuel. So we talked about how in our last podcast, how the Ark of the Covenant made its way back to Israel
Made its way home.
in a rather spectacular way. So now we have Samuel. He's growing old. He appointed his son as Israel's leadership. The name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second was Abijah. And they served at Beersheba. But his sons did not follow in his ways.
No, Samuel seemed to follow the path of many.
Eli.
Or just many of the judges.
Yeah.
I was just saying,
And,
were-
judges.
yeah. And the kings that are going to come later.
just
But
not ultimate, not dad. They never did win Dad of the Year.
no.
Nope.
There
And
was
it-
always
They didn't
a
get that
vote.
mug.
They didn't get the mug.
I mean, they're doing exactly what Eli's son did. They turned aside after dishonest gains and accepted bribes and perverted justice.
Yep.
So,
at least it didn't seem to. Well, it kind of did cost Samuel like it cost Eli, but it really cost Eli.
but it's going to cost Israel. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
It cost Eli his sons. This is going to cost Israel something.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, the leaders get together and say, yo, Samuel, you're old. Your sons, they're not
Kinda
doing so good.
Not the
Sons
guys we
suck.
want running this place.
So, we need you now to appoint a king to lead us.
Yeah. The Israelites, they wanted a king.
Such as all the other nations.
Everyone
have.
else has a king. We want one too.
There it is. Every time we want to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yes.
And-
Because that looks better than what we got.
Yeah.
And when they said, give us a king, this displeased Samuel. Because why? Because in part they were rejecting him, but they were also rejecting God. It says, but they have, and so the Lord told him, listen to the people and what they're saying to you. It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king, as they have done from the day I brought them out of Egypt until this day, forsaking me and serving other gods, so they are doing to you. Now listen to them, but warn them solemnly. Let them know what the king who will reign over them will claim as his rights. I always enjoy this because God says, well, they're whining, they want a king. Give them a king.
Give them a king.
And says, and he's basically telling, hey, Samuel, don't take offense at it. They're not rejecting you. They're rejecting me.
What if
Because
Samuel
at
told
this
them that?
point,
I wonder if Samuel told the Israelites that.
I don't know.
Like, y'all realize you're just telling God he's not good enough right now, right? That's what you guys are doing?
Yeah. I don't know if he said that to
But
them.
I like how he
don't
said
know.
too that this is the same thing they've done since he brought them out of Egypt.
Yeah, nothing's
these people have been.
changed.
I wonder if God ever. I wonder if when all this is going on, he's thinking, man, I wish Moses wouldn't have talked to me out of just wiping them out.
Thanks a lot, Moses.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
Moses, come here.
Yeah.
look what you've done.
You see what they're doing now? I told you I should have wiped them all out. I told you.
That's your fault. Changing my mind. Anyway, so Samuel goes back to the people. He tells them this is what's going to happen. He said, this is what the king who will reign over you will claim as his right. He will take your sons and make them serve with his chariots and horses, and they will run in front of his chariots. Some he will assign to be commanders of thousands and commanders of fifties, and others to plow his ground, to reap his harvest, and still others to make weapons of war and equipment for his chariot. He will take your daughters to be perfumers, cooks, and bakers. He will take the best of your fields, vineyards, olives groves and give them to his attendants. He will take 1/10 of your grain and your vintage, and give it to his official and attendants. Your male and female servants and the best of your cattle and the donkeys he will take for his own use. He will take 1/10 of your flock, and yourselves will become his slaves. When that day comes, you will cry out for relief from the king you have chosen, but the Lord will not answer you.
And they said, nah, that's
Yep.
not going to happen.
Yep.
It's not going to happen, Samuel. We thought it out. We looked around. It's not happening to anybody else. So we're going to be fine.
Yeah, we're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to do it.
I just, yeah.
We want
they
a
were so
king.
caught up with that.
It's mob mentality, man.
That's it. They know we want a king over us. Then we'll be like all the other nations.
Yeah, because they say the same thing. But the people refused to listen to Samuel. No, they said, we want a king over us. Then we will be like what? All the other nations.
And then Samuel heard all that the people said. He repeated it before the Lord, and the Lord answered, listen to them. Give them a king. And so Samuel said, everyone go back to your town. Let me go find you guys a king.
Yeah.
Surely this can't go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then starts and this is where it kind of shifts. So we've had, up until this point, we had the judges leading Israel. And basically God was leading through those judges. Now we're going to have these kings who will be leading Israel.
Yep.
And if it's a good king, Israel flourishes. If it's a bad king, Israel goes down the tube.
Israel does not.
And they go up and down.
They go up and down a lot.
Yeah.
That's a roller coaster.
Because some of these kings they're going to have are not good people.
No.
No, and if they had more self-awareness, they would think, man, I wish we had those judges again.
Yeah.
Those times weren't so bad.
But the more of what I like here is that sometimes God does give you what you want. But you have to be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Because it may not be the best for you or what God actually has in store for you. Or it is what he has in store for you, but it's not what he wants you to have.
And you may not be asking for it in God's timing as well.
Exactly. And I am notorious for that.
Yeah. Well, I think humans in general are, but I agree. Same.
Well, I think Americans are worse at it too, though, because
That's fair.
we're an instant gratification. We want it now. Let's get this done. Move on.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Where God's like, wait, let's see what This patience is.
Everybody just slow down.
Yep.
Patience.
Now, not always. God doesn't work always that way, but there's a lot of times where it's just you have to wait and be patient. Well, I don't do very well there.
Yeah.
But in this particular thing, I think God's saying, okay, well, if you want a king, then you're going to have to live with the consequences of that choice.
Yeah.
And the Lord's very good at that.
Yeah.
I mean, He will let us live with the consequences of our choices.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? He's not going to force us to do something, but in the end, he's not going to take away the consequences from the decision that we make. And I think that's exactly what's happening here. Okay, fine, Israel, you want a king, then you have to live with the consequences of that decision.
Yeah.
And it's going to be up and down for him.
Yeah.
We get some really good kings like King David, but we have some terrible kings in there too.
Like the one before King David.
Well, King Saul, I kind of rate there as mediocre because he started out really
He falls
good.
off.
I was
at
gonna
the
say
end.
you could say King Saul was both up and down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he started out really good, was following the Lord, and
Yeah.
then he just made a whole bunch of bad decisions.
Tune in next week
We're going to talk about the first king
because he loses his mind.
Yeah.
He does. He does. He makes some really bad choices.
Yeah, but he started off fine.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
As long as he was.
you only
seeking-
remember how they ended,
Yeah. Well,
but all the good things.
we'll
he
talk
did.
about it next week. But he became obsessed
Yep.
with something that he.
But that was only after he made the mistake.
Yeah.
Correct. Fair.
So, the Lord's not going to make decisions for us, and we do sometimes get what we ask for, and sometimes we have to live with the consequences of our choices. And I think that's the lesson here that we need to capture on from this particular passage.
Correct.
Is that we have to live with the consequences of our choices, and that's what you're going to see play out with Israel when they ask for a king.
Yep.
So be careful what you ask for, be careful the choices you make, and get ready to live with the consequences.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.